Yeah, 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 yeah. What's going on, everybody? You are now watching and listening to the Lady Guru Show. What's going on, Gurus?
What's up?
Hey.
Yeah, we are coming in hot.
You are now tuned into K100 Radio, Hip Hop and R&B.
Hey, yo, check this out, everybody. Before we get started, you know what I'm saying? I want to thank Dave for sitting in.
Thank you for having me.
Very, very important. We thank you.
Of course.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Kanye West, who has made several anti-Semitic remarks over the past couple of weeks, has lost his billionaire status, according to Forbes. Adidas, the German-based athletic manufacturing company with its own history of Nazi ties, announced on Tuesday that West violated the company's value and ended partnership with the rapper. The announcement comes after a series of companies publicly severed ties with the rapper, including Def Jam, which announced his good music was no longer affiliated with the label, Gap, which has effectively ceased its partnership with him and removed all Yeezy Gap merchandise from stores. The list of brands dropping him continuously mounts. The rapid backlash Ye has received is warranted, but baits the question. What is the cost of his anti-blackness? Within the same month as his anti-Semitic post, Ye made several inflammatory statements about a black woman and several black men, as well as displaying an ultimate diss to the Black Lives Matter and other anti-racial social movements by donning a White Lives Matter t-shirt during a Paris Fashion Week. First of all, Kanye West to me is not an historian, first of all.
He's not.
I mean, the way he carries himself and the way he
And
talks
music, okay, but regularly no.
the way he talks about issues, he tries to put himself in a lane that is clearly that he doesn't know nothing about.
This is
Like
the
he's
mental
Martin Luther
illness.
King.
That's the mental illness, Blake. 'Cause
Yeah.
he even admitted how he does not even read. Reading to him is like eating Brussels sprouts. Okay.
I love Brussels sprouts.
This is what he said. This is what he said. He don't like Brussels sprouts, and he don't like to read, and he don't like to study, and he don't like to do those type of things.
So that right
he
there
admits-
disqualifies him from talking about any type of history or knowing something or
No,
putting
that's
something.
not true.
Listen, let me say this, or putting something into a fact.
Yeah. When you have a platform like that, it's just certain things that you shouldn't say, like, because it's so
You don't have
strong
to
of an
read a book
opinion
to know
that
something.
you are going to break. You're gonna break the internet. Like, you just can't say things like that with such a high stature. You could have an opinion. No one's saying that, like, he can't have an opinion.
Absolutely,
But I feel like
yeah.
that goes back to his mental illness. Like, he's always been like this. If you look
Yes.
at his history, he's
Yes.
always lashed out. He's always lashed out for the
Yeah.
Black community.
Thank you, Dave.
And I feel
Thank
like
you, Dave.
it's getting worse mentally, but I feel like what he's trying to push forward is the fact that, what everybody already knows, like, we're still in a certain position where we are not, excelling the way that we are supposed to excel.
Yep.
And then, he throws in his little, remarks about people that, necessarily are necessary. So it gets off on the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, he could have
It
said so much
does.
without talking about George Floyd.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
still
and
mentioned
see, that's
him.
what I'm talking
You know what
about.
I mean? And that was just
Yes.
unnecessary, because I understood where he was coming from. But then you're gonna go say his knee wasn't on his neck like
So I'm
that.
like, everybody in the
That
world
was a
sees
lie.
that, bro. Like, don't ever disrespect that. Like,
What
what?
I mean is that it is a fact on what this man died from.
Right.
Okay, now he's out here running his mouth about something that is not even a fact.
No.
So my thing is this, I disagree with Kanye West. I disagree probably with how he feels about his own people, not understanding the history that his peoples come from, because clearly he doesn't value his people the way
He doesn't know.
That's what that's what I
And
hear.
then also, he don't have his
and
mother,
that's why,
someone who
and
was
that's
very
why, listen,
important.
yeah, That's another key factor.
And I feel like that is something that a lot of people mental gets destroyed. Even somebody who's not bipolar, a very important parent dies, and they go off the radar. You know what I mean? And he don't have her direction anymore. So now he just has so many things running through his mind that it comes off on the wrong way. Because I'm not gonna say I disagree with everything he says, but you can't sit here and say you agree with everything he say without sounding crazy.
Right.
So now, what about the factor of that he's saying all of these things, and that there are people that agree with what he says, and this is steaming and even more
because they understand the fine print between the lines to understand psych, right?
No, I'm talking about people that agree with Kanye. I'm talking about there are people that agree with him.
As a medical professional who's been in the game, a nurse for over 22 years, okay, when it comes down to psych, now you could start out with just being ADHD, right? As you come to puberty, that could turn into bipolar, right? Let something keep dramatically changing in your life. Your psych, your mental changes with that. So it takes something very big that can switch that bipolar to bipolar schizoaffective. And just think about it. He was in love with Kim. Look at how she did him.
He still
of
is
course, that's what I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying.
How did she do him?
Right.
Sorry.
How did she do him?
How did she do him?
He went above and beyond for Kim when he did that whole thing with Ray J. Got the.
Oh,
I mean,
but they was already divorced.
They
was already getting divorced.
No, they weren't. Not at.
Yes, they were.
I don't like that.
They were talking about it.
They were, they weren't divorced, but they were in the process.
I don't like that.
No, but I think he. Oh, I just went black, y'all. Hold on.
Kanye powers.
Well, that's the universe saying that we do not like that.
Kanye,
okay, that's the universe saying, "Shut up,
don't like that."
Maddie.
No, what did she do to him?
Shut up,
what did
Maddie.
she do to her? Okay.
She's actually been really good as a person, because I would have been on the internet wilding them out.
Just imagine dealing with a Kanye West as your husband.
Baby daddy.
First of all, she should have known what she was getting into way before. Kanye is way older than her.
But
now,
tell me something. You ain't never got into nothing with somebody.
Of course I have.
You maybe had some type of chemistry with them, and y'all was all good, and it was friendship there and everything. And then later on, it fell apart, and true colors came to life. This is real life.
And she still speaks highly of him. She don't even talk about him.
It's real life.
If I see psychosis, I'm running. You put yourself in that position. He's been crazy for years. You put yourself in that position. There's no excuses.
Here's one of the things, though, that
regardless, I'm not blaming her. It's a traumatic event that happened in his life that can trigger something neurologically, psychology, and trigger the bipolar into schizoaffective.
But that's not even the issue. The issue is what are we accepting, right? Because he's talking about the what is the First Amendment? Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Okay, he's talking about freedom of speech and all of our rights.
We don't even have amendments.
He's talking about
rights.
He's talking about all of our rights. This is why he's doing all of these platforms.
This man is out here basically manipulating people on what he wants to say. Basically, ain't nobody stopped him from free speech. Obviously, he already said what he wanted to say.
Sure in the hell
but see, the problem is that when you say what you want to say, there are consequences.
Yeah, there's still consequences.
The problem is, don't nobody want to hear that. That's what the problem is, Kanye. Not that you done been on all of these interviews in the last however many weeks. Like all of these interviews, okay? And nobody wants to hear it. Okay. Well, some people. That's why you're trying to take over.
But psych people are very manipulated, because I could see a chart. And like I said to you before, y'all keep thinking I'm joking about this. If I see more than 3 to 5 drug allergies, I already know that I already know he or she is psych because the medication that works for them, they don't want it. They manipulate it. They don't want to be better because they're in psychosis. They have a psych diagnosis. So
Hey, look.
it's a shame for Kanye because he is a talented guy. Very talented.
So a kid says to his father, "Hey, look, I hate my job and I want to leave." The father says, "You can do whatever you want. If you leave, you leave. Just know that there's consequences to not being employed. You're not going to have any money." So basically, at the end of the day, in this world, you could basically do whatever you want to do. It's just that there's consequences to that action.
Yes.
So but that's part of his argument, right? Because he feels like because he's expressing the unpopular opinion, or he's expressing things that most people what he would think are unaware of. All right.
I love how you said that.
Results in those type of consequences. Now, true and untrue. The original question, right, was how does this affect
our community?
Our community, right? Did Black people write off what he, said that was anti-Black? And while he said these statements that were anti-Jewish, he got cut off immediately. Right?
Black people don't really own much to cut anybody off.
There you go.
In the first place.
There you go.
So that's one. And then two, it's just more of like, we just happy that Kanye is where he at. So ain't nobody trying to cancel the 1 out of 5 Black people that's actually a billionaire, actually saying stuff, actually hopping up when Bush is being racist. You know what I mean? No one want to be that person. So it's like,
but is he still that same Kanye?
No.
I don't think.
No.
Right.
It's not the same. The way he's going about it is not the same. Like, you can't just say stuff about DEF CON and think that, things are going to be sweet. It's not like he just said Jewish people make more money than Black people. That's one thing. Right. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have been canceled for that.
Right.
You took the extra mile instead of talking about people that are dead.
He said everything.
Holocaust and stuff like that.
And that is something you just don't
He
talk
went
about.
above and beyond.
You can't disregard that. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure Kanye doesn't know much about it either.
Nope.
Which is why he said what he said.
It's all about what
he said
he sees.
You know what I mean?
Them living the life that he wished we could live in. He sees them having a business and knowing how to run that business within a family, within a community of them, and we don't have that. And I don't.
Or he sees another world in his head. I'm telling you, his psychosis is progressing.
But I don't know
he's had some traumatic events.
I don't know what
he doesn't even know.
I don't know what he's trying to teach. Being divisive.
Nothing.
Yeah, that school he opened up.
See, but that's the thing, Blake, because he's just talking. This is part of the bipolar disorder. He's just talking. He's rambling. He's displaying all of these thoughts that are in his head. He's just talking. And at the end of the day, it's like no endpoint. What are you actually trying to
What are you saying?
teach us? What's the solution? What's the resolution? That's the part that gets missed. You saying way too much. And even in the interview, he was talking about how words have all these complex words have diminished meaning. So simplify it, Kanye. Because you doing the same thing that you talking about we should not be doing. Okay, you talking too much. Simplify it. What's the solution? And what are you talking about? Put it in a maybe a 2-page essay, and then maybe we'll get it. I don't know.
I feel like Kanye also has narcissism. Kanye also has to be a narcissist as well, and I feel like he enjoys attention, and a lot of the attention he gets is from doing things like this. So when you mentally don't realize you're doing it sometimes, but you do certain things that you like or you like the reactions from because you enjoy whatever reaction you get from that. And he probably mentally, knows like, oh, once I say this, people don't agree with, I'm going to get all this attention. Once I post this, I'm going to get all this attention. Because even before, like, he never did things like this in the sense of what he like is doing with his relationship with Kim Kardashian and their text messages. He's never done that type of situation. You know what I mean?
That's
So I
like a
definitely feel like
cry.
it's developing into some narcissism because it's like unnecessary and it's becoming at this point harassment, and this is the action, the reaction you're gonna get from your actions where people don't want to work with
There's
you anymore.
nobody in his life that like is that important to him to stop him right now. His
No.
No
mother's
one.
gone.
His
Debbie,
family is not even some people he really even deal with. Like, you
listen,
never see him with his grandpa or his cousin or his uncle. Like,
Day, Darcy, Debbie, Sabby, this is all what happens to when your psychotic diagnosis progresses. You become everything in the psych
and you
books.
usually have multiple. It's usually not one thing. It takes a while to it takes 6 months to a year to even diagnose these type of disorders. And if Kanye's someone who already said he don't want to take his medication, he's probably not even going to get himself checked out.
And then it's going to lead to more psych diagnosis. He's going to be a narcissist. He's going to have multiple personalities. He's going to be bipolar schizophrenia plus bipolar. He's going to have every psych because he's not being medicated or thinks he's crazy, because most people who are certified don't think they are. It's like the people in jail that they don't know why they're there because they're innocent. You know what I mean? So he's going to talk about stuff that, and I shouldn't say that word, but just stuff that doesn't even make sense because it's progressing. Every disease progresses, and psych is a disease. Darcy, can you agree to that?
Absolutely.
Can you?
But does it excuse him?
Yeah, it has to. It has to, because he's not. Everybody
at this
would
point,
say
it's not even an excuse of Kanye West doing what he's doing. What the excuse needs to be made for, or is there an excuse for the media outlets that are allowing him to display
constantly get up there and do this and play with his mental disorder?
yes,
You edit a video before you post it.
There's another aspect to this thing too, and that is, if you're a person who has a baby father, who has a husband, who is going through an apparent breakdown of mass proportions, right? And basically, it's not, however, it's not violent. It's not a violent one. But you see that mental illness is really taking a centerpiece towards his center, right?
yeah.
If you're a mother and that is your kid's father, how do you navigate the visits? I mean, as we know, mental illness can take a lot of different directions.
They would have to be supervised.
Is it safe to have your child around that?
If they were supervised, it has to be supervised. And I would demand that he gets mental health. He has to go see somebody and start his medication. Now I want to see an improvement, because no, it's not fair. It's not fair to the children, because then they don't understand what he's saying. I mean, we as a community don't even understand what he's saying. But it's also not fair that about the media per se, and everybody still letting him record stuff, because that's kind of part of dignity. Like, he can't control that. People think you could see psych diagnosis. You can't. They're up here and they're real. And that's a part of his dignity. So shame on whoever's still taping him and letting him talk. Y'all should really get together. Whoever still has his back, and make sure this man gets help. Like, we're not looking at that part.
Exactly, because they're calling this man to these interviews to have that.
At the end of the day, to answer your question though, Blake, as far as if that was your child's father, let's be specific. All right, let's talk about Kim. She did try try, like when somebody is experiencing that level of mental illness, every single person around
Will
them
be
can
affected.
try to help them, but it can be a problem. You may not
Yes.
succeed. If
Yep.
they choose not to take their medication, and
Yep.
especially somebody of Kanye's I'm sorry, because his name is
Status.
Ye now. I'm sorry.
Mm.
That's illegal. Ye,
You're so
somebody of
silly.
Ye's nature that can pretty much, that has the means and the resources to control their lives in such a way, that's a difficult situation. And at the end of the day, we talked about this before, like you can only do so much as an individual. You cannot make anybody do anything. That's always going to be ultimately up to the other person. And
Yeah, I don't even think they're divorced yet. Like they're legally single and separated,
And that,
but I don't even think
yeah.
they're divorced yet because he doesn't want to get divorced and she wants to because she's probably having a hard time dealing with this. And they've been together what, 6, almost 7 years. After a while, it takes a toll on your own mental, and it's like,
Yep.
should she stay and wait till he's better? It's because it's not one of those things, those diseases. You don't just get better.
No,
So it's
you
like,
don't, unless you're medicated, and that still doesn't get you better.
and that still
'Cause
doesn't
some,
get you better because sometimes it
yeah,
can make you worse. You
and
know
it's
what I mean?
that's why they always have to play with psych meds. It's always a game of like you got to wait 4 weeks to see if it's working for you. So 4 weeks you could still be in that mental stage, and it takes effect on everybody around you because they don't know how to react.
Mhm.
They don't
And
know
then you have
what
to think
person
about the
you're going to
kids
be
seeing that
tomorrow.
24/7.
Yeah.
As a mother, what would she have to do? Go to court? Like he has not done
Yeah, that's what she's
anything
doing right
violent.
now.
He has
no,
not
and
no,
that
done.
but
was all the backlash that he's put into the media against her, talking ish about her, as far as her keeping his kids
Way.
away from her,
That was like a
because
year ago. He's still talking about it.
yeah, he talked about how she was trying to keep his kids away, right? We don't know what was going on at that point in time. This been going on. This been going on. And now it's reached the public. Look how desperate he is to express certain opinions. Now, as a mother, yes, you do have a child with somebody else, right? So they are partial owners of the collaboration, right? So we do have to be fair, right? We do birth them and everything like that.
at the end of the day, you have to protect your kids.
He wants to see his
So.
kids. What is she gonna say? No, you can't see him.
But honestly, to me, like looking, and she's never kept Kanye away from her kids. They have time. They have time. He has time, and he doesn't understand that we're not together anymore, and you can't pick your kids up whenever you feel like it anymore. And he does not like that. He doesn't like not having control, and the fact that he does not have control, that's her keeping his kids away. When in fact, you have them on Thursday through Sunday, and I have them Monday through Wednesday, and it's Monday. Why are you trying to get the kids? You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like he tries to bring other people in on the situation to make it seem bigger. You know how when people are, their argument isn't valid and then they try to get other people to start bandwagoning with what they're saying to make their argument stronger. If he can get the media to back up and say Kim's a bad mom, stop doing that to Kanye, maybe he'll see them more. You know what I'm saying?
But look, let's even be real about this situation. Kanye is not trying to be a full-time dad.
Anyway,
let's be real about this. He want to see his kids when he got time to see his kids, because as he said and admitted, him is responsible for them 80% of the time. Okay, so this is something else that he's concerned about.
And then you have to look at this. Look when he started bugging out. He started bugging out when Kim started to date Pete. Before she started dating Pete, their divorce was really quiet. He was dating. He had 3 different girlfriends before Kim even dated Pete. And he was fine. Buying Birkins, flying to Paris. He was fine. As soon as Kim started dating Pete, that's when he started to lash out because he lost the last person he thought he had. And her being with someone else now is solidifying the fact that, okay, we're not going to be together. You know what I mean? Him being a man being with another woman is different.
You know, he told Charlamagne that Pete got a 9-inch thing. And,
exactly.
And,
so it's
Yes,
like,
I remember that.
and Kanye,
6'9"
he needed to compete with it. He couldn't compete with it. So that's another part too.
Exactly. And you see how you see what he did to Pete. Pete has said nothing to this man. And since they started dating, he started slandering Kim and he started slandering Pete's name, Chris' name, the whole entire family's name. And he did not do that before. He did not do that before at all.
Because he's
At
crazy.
all.
He was the
So I
man
really feel
before,
like,
okay?
you know,
And now he competing with a 9-inch thing. Okay.
He competing with 6 feet and 9 inches. He can't. He's really like
He's done.
He's
He's
scared.
done.
But see,
He's
the
scared.
point that listen, what would you do if you were Kim? So in other words, would you
Exactly
let him
what she's
see?
doing.
You would let him see the kids?
Yeah, I would still let him see his kids.
I would let him see his kids under supervision.
Yeah, but don't you got to go to court for that?
Until, no, not well. You can unless he agrees to that, and if he doesn't want to agree, which he's probably not, to go from some mental health, then yeah, then you're gonna take him to court. I would take him to court.
The first
only
step,
because I wouldn't want my kids affected.
If it's that serious, because it does take it's a process to go to court and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The first step is if there's something outrageous going on, you can you get the police involved and you make a report.
Yep, and
And you have
CPS
to have
involved.
that's
Yeah.
We also only see social media. We also only see social media. We don't actually know how Kanye and Kim and the kids are when they're really together. He could be the most wonderful, sane person when he's with his kids. His kids probably can make him, you know, think forward, you know what I mean? And Kim probably, you know, would obviously love that of her, you know, husband to do, or her father of her kids to do. So if that's the case, then, you know, she's most likely going to continue to let her kids see their father. They're going to ask for him. They're going to want to be with him. And, you know, you don't want to be that person to keep your kids from their father because he has a mental disorder that he can't control. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, all you could do is really try to help that person. Because at the end of the day, even when you hear Kim, she speaks highly of Kanye. She does never tarnishes his name. She never tries to say he's a bad dad or a bad person, even as much as he said about her in the media. She still says Kanye this, Kanye that, Kanye this. She still talks about him like he's her husband.
Yeah, but
So,
I think his psychosis is going. I think his psychosis is going way too overboard, where she has to protect her children at this point.
Is Kim exemplifying a lot of class in this situation?
Yeah, because she's not even speaking, and I probably wouldn't have been able to hold my tongue that long.
I would say hell yeah, because a lot of women would not. No, she don't say nothing about him. She don't never throw down on his name. That's been all him. That's been all him. She's not, and the only time that she's put it out there, as far as her kids are concerned and their relationship and all that, is after he's done so much to try to tarnish her name.
Mm-hmm. Before they was even divorced, he talked about her getting an abortion with North, and at that point they were together. You know what I mean? So it's like she let a lot of stuff rock, and we don't. And like I said, we don't know what goes on at home. So it's plenty of more stuff that probably went on at home because he was living in a whole nother state before they even got officially divorced. Well, officially filed for divorce. So it's like it's so much more deeper than just what he posts online and how she's handling it.
He did do that crazy kind of move when he bought the house right across the street.
Yeah, that was.
And then buys a house across the street after you've been living in another state for probably a year.
I was hoping somebody brought that up because I wanted to be the one.
He crazy, man. He
yes, and that's what I'm trying to say.
One minute he wants to be there, the next minute he doesn't. And that's what bipolar disorder is. Like,
how do you deal with a crazy man? How do you deal with it? How?
We deal with them every day, ladies.
and how do you deal with it when it gets to the point of super crazy?
Like not certified crazy, but not certified crazy. Back and but you know.
Do you leave?
Yeah.
No,
you just go outside and just give them time. Give them time to
and you know what sex does not solve a crazy.
No.
It don't solve it. It makes it better to the next day.
It makes it more crazy for real.
No, it could go. They can trip out right after sex.
That's what I'm saying. They make them more.
There's
Right
no
after.
timing to
Now
sex.
I know why I don't want to leave you, girl. You here with me forever.
And then all of a sudden, get out,
Right.
get out. Like, no, what just happened here? For real, that's when you just gotta go. And maybe that's why Kim is gone. And you can't blame her.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I got my feelings about Kim just as an individual, and I might take it out on because I do like Kanye's music and his,
I
you
think
know,
you
his
do,
talented.
boo. I think
I
you take it out a
do.
little bit.
And I'm sorry. And I'm not perfect. And I'm sorry for doing that. And I do that. I kind of saw myself do that. But as a mother, I'm not taking nothing from her. And as a person, I'm not taking nothing from her besides her. Well, I guess I kind of am because she just phony to me. I don't like that. Oh, sorry. But it's just that like Kanye, you know, he's from my era. His music is from my era. Kim, she came a little bit later, you know what I'm saying? Like and how she became famous, I don't like. But I'm sorry, Kim, if I do that, but I'm telling you, you are doing the right thing. I do respect how you raise your children, and I 100 respect you, but I kind of see myself going both ways with you. And
Like
I
they even said,
apologize.
Kim lets Kanye drop them off to school every day. So it's like you see your kids every day, and you
Yeah, but
complaining and
I
crying.
wouldn't
Like
trust that. I wouldn't trust that because that he can go through some psychosis on the road and just like go over a bridge. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, psych is a big
Don't
thing.
put
We
that
don't
into
know
the
what they're gonna
atmosphere.
do. People have did
Lord.
Don't say
that
that.
before. No,
Jesus.
I'm just saying. She
My
needs to be
goodness.
careful. I'm trying to help her out now. Now
Oh
I'm
my
being
gosh,
nice.
I wasn't even thinking
No,
about nothing like that.
no, because it's real serious talk.
But see,
You
that
know,
was
Darcy,
my question.
Goodness. Yeah,
you know, psych people have done that.
That's
You know, so to prevent it, I'm putting it out there. Kim, please, just try to make it supervised, make him, you know, try to help him and get him mental help, try to get him on some medication. Because right now, even in the media, he's not sounding right. He's not even looking right. So please get and just worry about the kids. That's my thing.
Moving on. Does Ashanti got Irv Gotti looking like a jealous, crazy ex?
Yes.
she does.
He need to give it up. You be with a different girl every night, sir. Like, bro, she was back in 99. Like, come on.
I don't even know why it's still being discussed. Like,
he
no
said
comment.
he's a
He
cancer.
was the only relevant one that he was dealing with.
He said he's a
Blake,
cancer. Blake, you a cancer too, right? You cancer? Blake,
He a cancer.
Blake,
Yeah, I'm a
Lizzie?
cancer.
Yeah, I'm a
You
cancer.
cancer.
you a
Who, you a cancer
Yeah,
too,
I'm a
right?
cancer.
This
Yeah,
is
I'm a
what
water.
Herb said.
I'm
Let
a
me
water sign.
can y'all confirm this?
And we're
for me? 'Cause I
Cappies,
wanna know.
Sabby.
Happy too?
No,
Yeah,
we're Cappies.
Cancers and
We're
Capricorns.
Capricorns.
C's.
We're the
He
best.
said that he said that he
Yeah.
loves he said he loves really hard, and that on the other spectrum he doesn't love really hard. So could something have happened and now he's like really like taking it to another extreme level?
I mean, I feel like as a cancer though, like that's
lost
true. We
everything.
love hard. We do love hard,
Yes, we
but
do.
in a sense of
You too?
after we don't love you, it's
Yeah, she said she's
like you don't
cancer.
exist. Like you don't exist anymore. Like after I don't deal with you anymore, you don't exist. And somebody asked me about you, you don't exist. You know what I mean? Like, especially if I did something wrong, I'm not about to be tarnishing your name or talking about the topic. You don't exist. We're done.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. The most people who gonna know is my close friends, but I'm not about to be blasting stuff. Like, no, I
Didn't
don't want
this
to deal with
happen
that.
over 15 years ago?
This is what I said
Exactly.
back in 99. Like, bro.
That's why I'm saying
I'm not even mad at nobody no more for nothing like that. Like,
because like why you keep mentioning his name or
no,
like,
he mentioned her name.
Yeah,
first.
because he loved her.
He still
loved
do.
her.
He still do.
does.
Still do.
Exactly.
So what that got to do with her?
Yo,
That ain't got nothing to do with her.
Yes, it does because she keeps going back and forth.
No, she don't.
She
ain't talking about no herb.
She keeps
She don't give no
entertaining
damn
him
about no herb.
when he
not gonna
says
talk about him
something.
ever.
No, But when he says something, she entertains it.
Who cares? He said it first. He said it first. He said it. Let it go, Irv.
Leave Irv alone.
Let it go, Irv.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, real recognize real, and Ashanti is a player for real.
Yeah, she's Ashanti's that Long Island girl.
Ashanti ain't worried about nothing.
Ashanti is from Long Island. You know that, Maddie?
That Long Island. I just said it. That Long Island girl. We straight.
I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I heard some stuff. I've been heard some stuff about Ashanti for a very, very, very long time.
But that she get
A very, very, very long time.
She a player, so maybe she just had this vibe that like enchanted him or something.
But Herb had a whole wife. He had a whole wife, so I'm not joking that. He had a whole wife. They was in the studio making music. One thing led to another, and that was that. Like
that's
everybody
exactly
else,
what that was.
It wasn't no relationship, and that's why no one knew about it until 15 years later. Because I didn't even know that was a thing until he said it. Like
there were rumors. There were rumors.
They were plenty
but
of
that's what
rumors.
I'm saying. It was rumors, but it was never official. They never came out. We're together and pictures hugging and kissing. You know what I'm saying? It was never a thing. It was just a rumor thing. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like
we knew what she was doing.
It's always some truth somewhere
to a rumor.
Exactly.
It might not be all true. It might not be all
true,
but there is truth in there.
Ashanti not all innocent, but I wouldn't be talking about a fling from 15 years ago if I was Herb either.
Right. Yeah, like, that's crazy.
And you're a man. You're a man.
He was very invested.
She said that she would have thought that by now a grown man would not just let certain things go. And
but how you know
man?
How do you know when they don't like travel and link up somewhere they in the same town they don't get it on? How we know that?
Exactly. You don't know.
We don't. So, and we know the power of the P.
And especially at that time, he was Herb Gotti. So it's like he actually was someone.
Exactly. And even probably up until today, even if they touring or something or whatever and they in the same town, I'm pretty sure she still be hitting it. Please. I don't put nothing past her.
Oh, you think she what? You think what?
I think that they might have been friends with benefits. Let me put it like that.
Still until this day?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past anybody. How do we know?
I mean, I can't speak for nobody, but look at the situation. I wouldn't say that, but you never know, especially in the industry. Like everybody is messing with everybody. So, you know, if you mess with them already, then why not mess with them again?
Why?
You know what I mean?
Especially at parties and you getting drunk and y'all chilling.
And Ashanti only recently started getting real media attention.
You know what's bugged out? Whenever you got somebody that's going to say in public, hey, look, whenever somebody says in public, we was never together, that right, that, whoever says
they was together.
No, but whoever says that is like,
no, I disagree. Yeah.
It's like, no. It's like saying,
no, it's not. I listen. Not everybody in the world is that manipulative or such a deceiving liar, because he was just having it bad. Like it's like dealing with the opposite sex in any type of relationship. If you're close to them, people automatically assume that
I've had that happen to me
or whatever. And
No. But what I'm saying is like when somebody says in public, we wasn't together like that. Like we was together, but we wasn't together like that.
Means
exactly.
But we never was in a relationship.
Yeah, like that.
She basically is saying like
that's a different thing. That's a different thing.
The like that part.
Yeah, she's like, nah. You know, she ain't even trying to associate herself with that type of
like that.
Yeah, like that. It's
that
like that
means
and like
that dude. That like that.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah, I agree. Okay. You said like that?
Hey,
That
they're
part.
off by they.
Like
What?
that.
Did that sound outside? Yeah, like that. Or like
Mm.
this. Or
Mm.
like that. Serious.
Moving on. Hey, gurus, I got a question for you. Is it okay that your boyfriend, fiance, or husband plays video games?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay?
Yes. Pete, please play for hours and leave my ass alone.
If he has to offset games, yeah. But if he's not just playing video games all the time, 24/7. But if he does it for relaxer, I feel like that's fine. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yes.
Unless he plays too much.
Debbie, why you ain't talking? Why you ain't saying nothing?
I don't mind a video game playing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's like you got to know how to put a cap on it. Like, you got to know when enough is enough. Like, if you play your games, cool. Play your games, do your thing. You know what I mean? But you know how to separate yourself from that.
Yeah.
It's not live or die. Like game is life. Game is life.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
So
that's
what? 2-3 times a week is good?
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's great.
You could play every day if you want to, as long as it's not.
Everybody has a vice.
Yeah.
Everybody has a vice. Like some people smoke in the evening. Some people drink a glass of wine in the evening. Some people play video games
in the evening.
Relaxing.
In the evening.
Right? It feeds into whatever you needed to feed into for whatever you needed to feed into for.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take that away from nobody. Like, that's what you like to do for fun, cool. But like, if we're supposed to be going to a meeting or dinner or an event and you on the game and you're not getting ready because you stuck on the game, then that's gonna and it's a consistent thing. Then I can't deal with that. Like my dad, for instance, he's a correctional officer, so he works being there 6 days a week, 12, 14-hour shifts. He's always working, and when he comes home, he wants to play his video game. And my mom not gonna be like, "No, you can't play a video game because I want to hang out with you." No, it's like this is what he likes to do. But when we have an event, when anything's going on, when dinner needs to be cooked or dinner needs to be picked up, he's going to do it. He's not leaving us starving to go win a Madden match. Like that's where, and some people are really like that. Like
every relationship needs to be like their own personal space, because I feel like every relationship when you're hovering over, oh, you can't do this, you can't change nobody. Number one, stop trying to control. Get your personal time, because it will help you think more, and your significant other needs their personal time. Give it to one another. Don't put limitations on one another, because that's not how you get to know each other. You can, if you put limitations on somebody, that means there's a trust issue. Because if you want to go, it's just say my man wanted to go out, right? Go, please go. Because he don't go nowhere, period. He wants to play video, please. Because I want to do, maybe I want to do my hair. Or I want to go get my nails done. Or I want to go, have a lady night or something like that. I want to go, so I'm going to go. So yes, you go. It's just, the youngins don't know about that.
But what he's talking about is a man that be on that game, right? And you be wanting to interact. You be wanting to interact, and they so focused on that damn game that it's like interfering with what we got going on now. So now what we doing? You need to win this game that damn bad, to where you're risking our
relationship.
Playing the game is intense, but you need to know how to shut it off when it's time to shut it off.
It's hard to shut up. Yo, I'll be ready to eat my son's behind, okay? Because he can't shut it off. 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes. Like they be it's a whole thing. Like it's like a
But they're
something in the
kids. They're
brain.
allowed to do that. But as a man, as your man, your kids are not your man. As a man, if you're still doing that, that means you're still a kid. You should know the way to decipher. Oh, it's time to cook dinner now. Let me press pause. I could always save my game. You know what I mean? That's the mentality. We're not talking about having a man.
Not when you online. Not when you online with your homies.
Pause that.
Exactly. Then you still need to go live with your homies and hang out with your homies and be with your, because you're still a kid. When you come into a relationship, homie, you got to go when it's time to go. When the kids need to be, whatever the case may be.
And it's just time management. Like, when you have time, when you have excessive amount of time, be able to time management yourself. Because if you get off work at this time and you got X amount of time and you haven't talked to me in a couple of days because we've both been working, spend some time with me,
girl.
You know what I mean? Like, you should know how to balance that.
I don't know about that.
That's my thing.
We texting.
No,
at least good
no,
morning.
I mean, like, as in, like, you're too busy to actually really have a deep conversation and get to, understand what everybody's week been going on. Because, if you work a lot, your schedules might not match. Like, if you go to work at night or during the day, it might not match. And then you guys supposed to finally have an off day. Why the hell would you want to be on the game all day and not at least spend a couple hours with me before you get on the game? That's you not having time management, and you clearly don't want to be with me then.
Well, then also that might not be the case. I think it could be flipped around to where a couple, if you're serious in a relationship, you should manage your time. So you do, like, prime example, when you have a couple, both should work during the day because the kids are in school or whatever. This way, when you get home, you do things as a family. I get it. Sometimes you can't always work it out like that. Like, you have to work. Maybe one has to work overnight and the other one works during the day, but you still make that time in between.
But you know what? Sometimes you need time for yourself. And that goes on both.
Absolutely.
Men need time for themselves and women need time for themselves. And, you got to work that. You got to work it out like that.
And that actually helps your relationship.
That's what your relationship is. Everybody's relationship is going to be different because everybody has different things going on.
But you have to have time to miss that person as well, too.
Absolutely.
Because it keeps the vibes going like, damn, I really miss my man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being up my woo all day, I really miss him. Like, I want to give him a hug. I want to let him do his thing, but I just want a hug. Like, that's what a relationship is. My opinion. It's not everyone else's opinion. Because people get twisted like
some women might feel like, that they don't trust that man enough to let that man out her sight.
Then they shouldn't be with that man.
They shouldn't be with that man.
And maybe they should look at themselves and maybe, and they should look at themselves with trust issues because if it's him, it's going to be Bob, John, and Tommy down the line too, who want to play their video games. Right. Every individual has to be themselves. If I was I used to be on a bowling league, right? So every Wednesday night I had to go to my bowling league. Do I want to bring? No, that's that's like my sacred time where I can bowl and be me, and then I come home.
And that might be you. And then there are couples that love to spend every
that's dangerous. That's
hour
dangerous.
With each other.
I don't even know how that works.
Not necessarily because there are couples.
I don't know how that works.
Look at Suzanne Summers.
I don't know how that works.
Way off. But Suzanne Summers and her husband of however many years, since way back in the day, he was her manager, and they spent
I remember that.
So every waking hour with each other, right? And still to this day, she's 70-something years old. She giving this man testosterone and everything. They be having sex all the time, and they still good. So that's not everybody. Yes. That's not everybody's story.
But I don't think they spend every minute. There's no way.
Everybody's different.
I understand that, but it's human nature to have a little bit of privacy. There's certain things we need as humans to be.
That's a fact. Well, and if a woman is that
but some people are really codependent. Some people are codependent and they don't think for themselves. They don't think for themselves. Like, that's why we have cults. That's why we have people joining cults and stuff like that, because they need someone to depend on. They need someone to tell them what to do. They need somebody to
they
feed off
still go
of.
to the bathroom to do number 2 by themselves. That could
Because
be
their
what their
body
thing
tells
is.
them to. Somebody's telling them to do that.
That individual needs to heal on their own. That's their issue, not somebody else's issue. Because they could be doing nothing wrong. And if you have a trust issue, that could weigh completely on you. And that's the healing that you need to do for yourself.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
shouldn't even be in a relationship, actually.
Like,
if
some
that's
people get in a
how
relationship
far
and
it
the next
goes.
relationship and the next relationship after each other. You get what I'm saying? Because they don't like that feeling of not being in a relationship, not being with someone to do everything with. You know what I mean? Some people literally cannot be alone.
And they never took the time out to find themselves and find what they enjoy. Because if you don't know yourself and you don't love yourself and you don't take care of yourself and you don't have your own personality, then how you going to be able to be with somebody that has their own personality, that can take care of themselves? You can't. You have to know yourself.
And destroy yourself
know your
trying
worth.
to do that.
Exactly. And that's what it said. With humans, just in human nature, we're not meant to spend every given moment with our mate. We need that time to bring us, if it helps the relationship. If you are constantly chasing after a man, constantly on it, oh, I got to track your phone, I need all your passwords. No. That's his own private thing.
That's a lot to keep up.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it's too much energy.
That's a whole job.
I think it's more of a matter of you knowing who you are, having dealt with who you are, and being in a solid position of who you are on both sides, the man and the woman. And then whether you spend 100% of the time together or 25% of the time together, you're still going to be good because you're good within you. That's the whole healing process.
Yep.
And that's what you should do before you get into a relationship with somebody else. Yes.
Which most people don't do.
Also, too, I think it's also go ahead.
Okay.
No, go Sab.
I was gonna say also too, what I think is important too. Some people have different love languages. Like some people, love language is quality time. Some is, it's different too. So it depends on that too as well.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Oh, that's
Amen.
deep. That's deep. She just talked about love language.
Everything like she talked about everything in one sentence. Because I was gonna say, like, if you don't trust your significant other and you need to know where they're at 24/7, then that's toxic.
Yep.
And you got to remember, everything will come to a head when it's ready. When you do dirt, when you got skeletons in your closet, eventually they come out. It might not be tomorrow, today, 10 years from now, but it's going to come out.
That's the physics.
That's when you know, even if the truth is good, you're going to be like, I was crazy all them years. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you've been crazy. Taking all your energy on me. And guess what? You don't even have what do you do? Yeah. Your energy is so focused on me that you don't even do an extracurricular activity.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, people are still gonna do, regardless of how on their you are or not. People, if they want to do something, if they have the desire to do something and they don't have a respect for the other party in that situation, they're still gonna do what they're gonna do and want to do regardless of whether you on their or not. So you being on their and taking the time, the energy, not even just the time, but the energy away from your own self to pour into this thing that they're gonna do regardless, ain't helping nothing.
Boosie Badazz recently took to his unhinged social media antics, the Drink Champs podcast with co-host Nori and DJ EFN, speaking on one thing that always gets him public scrutiny. Boosie shared his thoughts on how social media turns men and women into hoes. Boosie voiced the apps like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok are lucrative playgrounds that also happen to ruin everything else in our lives, including relationships. Social media effed everything up. The Baton Rouge native declared it made more avenues for more money, but it effed it up. Everything, well, effed up everything. Marriages, everything. At first, your B used to just see the N-words at work and and that's it, and then come home. And that's all she had to look at. Now she got about 30 different dudes looking at her, and you know, she don't know how to act right. So gurus, has social media changed the way people look at romantic relationships?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I would say it really, you just gotta work on separating the both. I think that's what people need to work on. People just sometimes put everything on social media and just look at everything, and then they get some toxic things that they see, and then they, gravitate towards it. But you have to just separate both. You gotta know what's good and what's not. And that's
personally, I don't like to blame social media. Like, I feel like, of course, social media plays a part, but people are people, and people do what people do. Regardless if somebody has social media or not, you can go to work, have a work wife, a work husband, and be having sex with everybody in the office. You know what I mean? You can go to the mall or go to a club and, hit it off every single time. Like, social media isn't the, actual,
but you don't think it made it worse though? You don't think it made it worse?
I feel like it made it worse, but not necessarily, because we're a different type of society where it's like women have more rights. You get what I'm saying? We have more leeway to get divorced. We have more leeway to step out of a relationship. It does, because up until 1940, 60, we couldn't even own a home. So that plays a lot. If you can't own a home, you need a man. You get what I'm saying? We don't need men nowadays. So now we have a higher higher standards, and we're not taking as much as we used to. And it's not just because we have choices on social media, you get what I'm saying? It's more because of society changing, and social media being a part of that society changing. I'm not saying social media has zero, fault in it, but if I'm a cheater, I'm a cheater, and social media is not going to stop me or not make me cheat. So I don't like to put the blame on social media.
Yes, it is. It's an influence. Yes. I love how he said, if y'all watched the video, it was hilarious. Sorry, I was about to say the F-bomb, but it was hilarious. And the way he said it was so true. He was like, you ever look at your girl and be like, God damn, there's 1,000 other girls that look fly on Instagram, and you at your best right now. You at a 10, and there's still at that. I think it influenced so bad because it gave people more options, because you could on Instagram, you could send them a message or whatever, and you don't necessarily have to be a cheater prior to that. It's just because the temptation is there. It's staring you right in your face.
Just imagine.
Yes.
You not getting no real attention and what you need and what you desire from your man. And one day you just, I'm gonna just get dressed up, because I'm gonna just get dressed. I'm gonna take me a little picture or whatever, and I'm gonna post it on my whatever account. Please. And just imagine a couple of dudes sliding into your DM. Now, if you ain't used to getting that type of attention, you don't.
And now it's coming your way.
I don't know. Is it gonna affect you differently? Because this is not what went on before. Before, you would have had to go to the to the market downtown or something to get dressed up and be seen or something. Now you could just be seen, period.
Yeah, but the club is different. I remember going to the clubs back in the day. I miss clubbing, actually. But you used to get the guys who would be so damn tipsy. You didn't even want it. They annoyed you. Even though they was hot.
It's different. People in the club now popping $1,000 bottles, and girls want to be in that section. So if you see a popping $500 bottles and you're at home being broke, you gonna want to be with the popping $500 bottles. So that goes to say the same difference in social media. There's temptations everywhere.
He's probably done hit every of those girls, and
that same thing of the guy with 10K on Instagram that look good. He's hit 5K out of the 10K on his Instagram. Like,
it's just this
it goes to say for the
exposure.
same thing.
It's this exposure to everything. It's not even just relationships. It's exposure to everything. All this new ever exposure with social media and everything, it's done went down into relationships. It's done went down into how we view racism, politics, everything. It's just this new exposure.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's 24-hour exposure versus the, going outside exposure. You're seeing it 24/7. So it definitely affects you. It definitely affects your mental because you're constantly thinking about wanting to do more or having more because it's constantly in your face versus, you seeing someone you haven't seen in a while and they telling you what's going on.
Everybody talks about how so many people are on social media, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that aren't.
Yeah, because my last few exes have not had social media.
And see, I think what social media also did is it gave people.
Yeah, I know of people that don't have it.
It gave people that tend to base a lot on looks more to look at. So in other words, there's a segment of our population who base everything on looks. And then there's a certain population that doesn't. Like, in other words, some people really, really are attracted to a person's personality or a person's something. You know what I'm saying?
Sabi, can I ask you a question? You're the new generation or whatever, and I know your social media accounts are popping. You do what you do, whatever. So, like, do you get a lot of slides? Do they slide?
I'm sure.
Of course they do. Look how beautiful she is.
By the day, okay?
Of course.
By the minute.
Okay.
By the minute, Sav. Take that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Take
Sorry,
that.
you guys froze for a bit. You guys froze for a bit. I couldn't hear you guys.
You didn't hear me?
No, I froze. I was like,
I said, doing what you do, right? Doing what you do. And then, like, I don't even know if you would, like, because you're of a newer generation or whatever, where social media has always been like a forefront thing. You get a lot of slides in your DM?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a little chaotic. I sometimes I get overwhelmed. I get really overwhelmed. Like, so I just like shut it off. Because that for me, like, it's a way to approach people. Like, if you approach me nicely, okay, great. But if you say I'm gonna fly you out, let me like who's that guy in your Instagram? Like, whoa. First of all, I'm posting my work.
Back up.
I never posted anything personal. Number one. And number two, I know how to talk. But again, like, it gets sometimes it's overwhelming with that. And of course, some people that I have dated in the past would be like, oh, there's so much guys in DMs, but they know what type of character I am on too. They know that I'm not influenced by social media. I've never been that way. And that's my character though. But some people do get influenced, with social media. And if a guy, vice versa, if I was a guy and I was getting my girls hitting me up, you never know. Like, what if I were like, entertain that? But I'm not entertaining anything. I don't entertain.
And it honestly be the prettiest girls that don't even be entertaining their DM because it be a bunch of people you don't even want to deal with.
Yeah,
it don't even be nobody you actually want
is.
to talk to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? As a female, we don't just talk to anybody that DMs us. A male, you might just to get a good time, but females, we don't do that necessarily for the most part. So just because I got 100 DMs doesn't mean I answered any one of them. You know what I mean? And that goes to show for the actual person. And it's like, if 100 people came up to you and tried to talk to you, 100 people DM'd you, you're gonna have the same reaction. You're gonna have the same
reaction. What Boosie said is that what was going on before is that we just looking at our partner and our mate as like, oh, okay, this some regular. Yeah,
because we couldn't work,
whatever.
We couldn't own anything, we couldn't drive, we couldn't do anything. We had no one else to look at, so we didn't know what the hell was out there to even compare, to know what we was worth, to even decide. Like, a lot of relationships was even set up too by families.
The word that really jumped out to me was the word look. Okay, when he said there's a million other, that's what he said. Listen to what he said.
I thought it was hilarious.
he said
hilarious because it's so true.
that yo, there's a million other women that might look better than my woman.
Even at her
And the
best.
thing that comes right back to me was the fact of saying, well, what about other qualities in your, are you gonna, like a lot of times, all right, let me say this. A lot of times with men, all right, men sometimes will deal with a woman based on something, but go right back to their girl, right? I mean, we've seen that so many times where men
Wait, what are you saying? Wait, what are you saying that men cheat?
I'm saying that some men will cheat, right? But what
Some
I'm
or
saying
all?
is what is it about their woman
It's vibes.
that'll make them go right back to their woman,
their vibes, their
influence
comfortability.
or influence.
Exactly.
Like
All of that plays a part. You can't just have a bunch of men or women. It doesn't work like that. Having a girlfriend, having a husband is different.
Social media is not going to give you the depth
Vibes and
of a
all that,
person.
yeah.
Exactly, it's not.
It's just going to give you the look. The look.
So a woman can step out of her relationship
as well,
be like, yo, I'm going right back to the man who I was with. So that is, so what I'm saying is that that's what stuck out to me when he said social media and the look. So it's like everything that you can look at in life is on social media, not just men and women or relationships, but everything that you can look at in life is on social media. So
it's 100% true. It might not be right, just because somebody's beautiful. They could be crazy.
It could be cooking. It could be,
it's like, or it could be photoshopped. You never know.
Yep,
but
a lot of photoshopping.
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
too much. But do you guys think that like people are succeeding in, because we can see all of these different lives and things that people are living, because 9 times out of 10 is fake. But do you think that it's like inspiring people to be
better?
Yeah.
Because I'd rather people want to be entrepreneurs and travel the world than be, a bunch of gangbangers and, pregnant and living in the hood. Like, I'd really rather that. Whether you're a fake entrepreneur or not, put that in the air. Maybe one day you'll actually understand what you're doing and you'll become a real entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, I don't agree with the people that literally Photoshop and fake it till they make it. That's where I'm like, okay, you drew the line. You know what I mean? The other people who are just marketing themselves and trying to get to where they're trying to get and trying to show themselves in a positive light 24/7, because who wants to show a negative light? Then I'm not mad at that. Like, do you? And everybody should be old enough to take social media with a grain of salt. Like, even the news, you can't sit down and listen to everything they say and believe it. You can't. So that's your own fault if you sit on social media and believe that these are people's lives. Like,
you'd be surprised, though. You'd be surprised.
You will. People believe headlines and all. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. They don't need a reliable source. That's what the internet is dangerous. You
Google one thing and you get 10 million different answers.
And it takes you down a rabbit hole.
Each of us can have a different answer.
Yep. When we used to go to the library, it was called research. You needed a reference where you got the facts. So know about that, facts. And people need to also understand. My motto, here it comes again. F what you heard and recognize what you see. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you unless you're at a magician show, okay? Look at what's going on around you. Look at how you can change yourself. That's it. Just stop, be quiet, and look and listen.
Well,
you probably won't get hit by the bus. You hear it coming. Sorry.
Well, all right, everybody. It was a good show. We want to thank Dave for being here again.
Thank you for having
me. All right, everybody, make sure you like, share, comment. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Gurus, this is the Lady Guru Show. And we are out of here.
Bye.
Kiss the ring.